You keep hitting a ceiling. It feels like concrete, but actually, it's paper thin. Today I show you the loop that convinced you it was solid and how to break right through it. But first, I am back from vacation with good vibes and so much love because I missed you so much. I missed everything about this. Writing, filming, and all of the good stuff. I also have to tell you that I did needed that time off because this time I wanted to disconnect completely from my phone, from social media, from the freaking news, from all of it, and do whatever I felt like doing right in the moment. And it felt so refreshing. I can't even tell you. To do things without taking your phone with you. Oh my god, it's been so great. Because you can take in what's right in front of you and that feels great. It just feels good. I wanted to garden, so I got to garden and clean a little bit in my yard. I finally finished this little path walk I built by myself. And I'm so proud of that little thing. You have no idea because it's nice. It's something that I built by myself. I also got to hike. I got to visit new places, like these little hidden gems, these new little towns you normally drive right past. This time I would just stop and Google their most renowned restaurants and taste their food and watch the people, being present with my loved ones. Now, mind you, I'm an introvert out there in public, and I love to observe people from a distance. I love to talk to them too when they come and start a conversation with me, but don't expect me. I almost never start conversations because I'm awkward like that, and I'm working on that actively. That's just a little story that almost turned into a small part of identity. Did you catch that? I am socially awkward. Yeah, see, it happens to all of us. There's a little narrative right there creeping into your mind and exaggerates a lot because the fact is I'm fine socially. But at the same time, you see what makes the whole difference? And that is how fast you catch it. That little program in your mind. I caught it and I named it in real time. It's just a thought moving through my mind, and that is all that it is. It's not who I am. And really quickly, before we move on, if this is your first time here, the Kink Shame Exit Kit is waiting for you in the description below. It's for free, and also the waitlist for the 14-day self-command reset is open now. We start the next round in September, but get on the waitlist and be the first to know when I open doors. Okay, moving on. This vacation made me realize one thing, and that is that the moment you go out in the world without your effing phone, it's kind of like life ringing an alarm clock. It's pulling you out of a spell or out of a hypnosis, out of Matrix. To just contemplate, right? Like the culture, the aesthetic of a town, or things that have like a warming emotional value, things that we normally don't even look at. The cute little streets of a chic town, an elderly couple that just walks hand in hand a little slowly on the street, but they're so cute, right? Again, like these normal situations in life that you usually don't really pay attention to, but once you're present with them, there's like a quality of it that just it makes you feel really good. And why am I talking about this? You may be wondering, like, you can't think of your worries, okay, when you are present in your environment. When you step outside of that matrix, when you start focusing on right this moment, on right what is in front of you, the whole weight you're usually carrying kind of like evaporates. And what hit me is how ridiculously easy it is to step out of that matrix. Not in a way you catch bullets, of course, right? More in a state of mind That's what I mean. Like a degree of awareness, of being present. That's outside of the matrix. Also, not being so focused on the things outside of your control. That's beautiful. While inside of the matrix, you experience exactly the opposite. You feel disconnected from your life, you feel stuck, you feel drained, you feel always tired, and almost never completely, fully satisfied. And always reaching towards something that keeps moving further away, no matter how hard you chase it. While you scroll and while you spend hours and hours watching TV or playing video games, others are going out there and they're getting richer and richer in experiences and in moments and making memories. So you see, both ends of the spectrums, inside the matrix and outside of the matrix, exist simultaneously. There's always people who resist this idea, and if you're feeling a little resistance towards these ideas, how's your ego doing? And don't hate me for saying that, but seriously, have you tried it, like to actually go out there in the world just with the intention of being present for 10 minutes? You should do that. It may happen though that you will actually notice something different, and probably that difference is exactly the absence of that negative internal talk. That negative talk is coming from an unhealed ego. Why I say ego and why I bring it up right now is because an unhealed ego doesn't really like when you're present. Specifically because that's when it loses power over you. And this state of presence and focus in the now, unpolluted by the constant noise of that narration, is actually the state that you can be, that you can access anytime, and when you can actually have anything you want. And it all becomes accessible when you start healing your ego, okay? And healing ego is a process, and it's a process that can take years, right? And it happens little by little, which includes kind of melting it. And melting this ego is not gentle, if I'm being honest, but you should be gentle to yourself. It's a necessity. This is probably how you learn grace for yourself first. Because it is extremely uncomfortable, this whole process, right? Your ego gets shook so hard to the core, which includes your identity, your self-image, your story, your beliefs, your worldview, your pains, your traumas, your struggles, your limitations. All of that goes to melt. And it feels like dying, guys. It makes you wish you would die. But the reality of this is that it's a natural step, okay? It's a natural step in the life of someone who wants better. And even though it feels like you die when you go through this melting of ego, I promise you, you do not. This is actually the path you're supposed to take as a human. And you find clues about this idea, about this melting of the ego. You find clues about this in art, you find it in music and philosophy and religions and all various traditions. People call it ego death, dissolution of the ego, the dark night of the soul, crossing the abyss. I've even heard a hook in a song, if you're going through hell, keep going. That's what it talks about. And by the way, if you resonate with this message, that's great. But if you don't, and if you're not at this stage in your life, feel free to take it or leave it. This content doesn't apply to everyone, obviously. There's always nuance and a case-by-case context evaluation that you are responsible for yourself. And you are responsible to figure out what works for you with discernment. Now, coming back to the ego, let's explore together how it operates so we can see with more ease how to start poking holes in it. First of all, I want to just clarify one thing, because a lot of people talk about the ego as this thing, this villain that we need to kill or get rid of. I heard many people talk about ego like that, but ego is, the way I see it, is like a mental component that kind of gets attached to your body, that helps you differentiate yourself from the world around you and identify yourself as Jimmy, right? My ego is Rux. It's the part of your human consciousness that sees you as separate from others. It's the lens that you see the world through, and it's a part of your humanity. And it's only ever trying in its clumsy way to make sense of what is happening and to keep you safe. Ego will literally do anything, absolutely anything, to save you from pain. Any pain. Anything that it interprets as pain. And especially the pain of failing. And you see, the majority of people are not even aware of this ego and how it leads their life literally from under the surface, from behind the scenes. This ego is a collection of memories and ideas that has a quality of air, in a sense that it's real because we experience the effects of it, but you can't touch it, you can't really see it, it's ethereal. And once you start seeing the ego and begin to heal it, it can become your expression in life. Kind of like you're building a character player that you get to customize, like your avatar in a video game. You get to be creative, you get to choose a path of your skills that you get to improve more and more and more and more, to unlock new levels of knowledge you'd like to explore, or maybe you have a curiosity or a passion or a cause to serve. Yeah, a healed ego turns your life into a playground made of fertile soil that will grow whatever you want. But leave that ego in the dark, it's going to get loud. It's going to be almost like an angry animal roaring from inside a cage. It's safe, sure, but it's making a lot of noise and it's showing big scary teeth. All while it's never actually going to hurt you because it's inside that cage, right? So what's the ego guarding you from? It's guarding you from many things. But the one thing that I want to talk to you about today is the uncomfortable feeling of reaching for something and then coming short. Of trying to create a certain desired outcome and failing. So the ego is going to give you a hiding place instead. One that keeps you kind of warm, you feel safe, but it sucks you dry of your vitality. And that is a little loop that you can just disappear into. And let me actually define this loop because I talk about it a lot. When I say the loop, I mean something very simple. It's a little circle that you run without even noticing. And that is this. You feel a little bad, you feel a little heavy, you reach for something to feel better. It works for a second and then the feeling drops even lower than before. So you reach again, and that circle on repeat is the loop. I call it the relief loop. And today I'll break it down into 5 steps for you. The loop. Ba-bam. Well, step number 1, something feels heavy. Something stings just a little bit. Or maybe you're feeling empty, you're feeling bored, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling stress. A thought pokes at a soft spot. That's step number 1. Then step number 2, you reach for your poison to make that feeling go away fast. Whatever that poison is for you. Your secret addiction. 3, you get the hit, a quick spike of a certain pleasure hormone. You get an instant relief, a high, and it genuinely feels good momentarily. Then 4, the relief burns off fast and drops you lower than where you started. A little emptier, a little heavier. So there comes step number 5, which closes the circle and you reach again. Okay? That is the loop. And notice I didn't say porn, I didn't say feet, because your poison might be just endless scroll. Your poison might be just constantly following the news, right? Refreshing the pages like they're going to say something different this time. The YouTube rabbit hole at 1 in the morning. A game, a pint. Pick your poison, as I was telling you. Pick your poison. The system runs the same either way. We don't even have to get mystical about it. I'm not addicted to the fetish. I'm addicted to the relief. This is a comment that I come back to almost every video. And that's why I keep saying also this. The feet are the hook. The self-mastery is the point. Because the kink was never the problem. The feet have been the thing that woke you up actually and steered you towards your growth as a person. And I say this to you because you're not in a crisis. And I know you have a life. I know you have a job, you have friends, and maybe you have people who love you. But there's always this quiet feeling that you're missing out on life. That real life is happening on the other side of the glass while you press your face against it instead of opening the door. And you're right, life is supposed to feel easier than this. To feel exciting like when you were a kid. And I'm always wondering, like, when did that joy, that curiosity to learn to break things and then learn how to not break things again, right? To go out there and care only about playing and having fun all day. That was so great when we were kids. When did that change exactly? And I get it. You want an emotional change. That's the kind of change you want. And to do that, you must logically do something to stop putting so much of your lifetime into a loop that sucks it dry. Now, what actually unlocks the whole loop is this. Understanding that the loop protects you from one thing, the pain of trying and failing. So imagine for just a minute that failing stopped being a threat. Imagine it's actually a gift. I know, so wild, right? The most valuable experience life gives you. And I know this is counterintuitive, and you'll say, Rux, are you out of your mind? Failing is terrible. I hate it. And you're right, it is terrible. I'm not denying that. It's very uncomfortable. But look at all the people that you consider great. No, seriously, I encourage you to look at it. Pick your favorite athlete. Pick your favorite musician. I don't know. Your favorite artist, your favorite entrepreneur. You know what they all have in common? Can you guess? Thousands of failures. Sometimes dozens of thousands of failures, which they saw as steps towards the better thing. Because failure is actually a step on the road to success. It's built right into it. So listen, if you're afraid of failure, then in an unconscious way, you're also afraid of success, of whatever you desire. Because one leads into the other. And your ego will always fight to keep itself safe. How dare you to deny my struggle? How dare you to do something and step out of your victim mentality? But if you never try, if you never put your hands to work and never let yourself fumble it and then refine it, you've given up before you even started. And this doesn't have to be only about feet, you know? Whether your poison is a kink or the feet or the news, whether you want to pursue a job or a relationship or a certain achievement, the mindset that gets you all of that, anything really, is the same. Failures are gifts instead of threats. Failures are gifts that are very valuable. And of course, you don't want to collect too many in life, of course. But, you know, a rule that applies to this is that the more valuable you find each mistake, it's crazy, but the more rarely they occur. So what that means is that the loop loses its job, loses its grip, and then the ego has nothing left to protect you from. And you'll finally go out there, and start playing confidently the game of life. So let me back up now and introduce myself in case we haven't met before. I'm Rox and I'm a mindset coach for food lovers, but not only for food lovers. But why food lovers, you may ask? Why mindset coach? Well, those are great questions. Some of my audience comes from the food fetish community because I used to be a foot model. And I happen to also love this stuff, like this mindset stuff, the mechanics of reality, overcoming your limits, coming back to yourself. And also I like to help people. On this channel, you'll hear me talk about the relief loop. And most of the time, what I'm referring to is watching adult content compulsively, to the point that it affects other areas of your life negatively. Relationships, finances, goals. I wanted to state that, but at the same time, what I want to make extremely clear about my work is this. I'm not shaming adult content. I'm not shaming people who watch adult content. I'm not shaming people who create adult content. I believe this is an artistic depiction of a very human side, made by adults for adults, and I find nothing wrong with that. What I usually speak to are the negatives. The negatives that pile up when a person spends too much of his time, too much of his life inside a freaking loop that keeps him hooked behind a screen, mesmerized, and so on. You know what I'm talking about. Missing real life, right? And that thrill of human contact, or just contact with the life out there, right? Missing the exploration of who you are, of what you like, what you want, what you were born here to do. And this is not a secret, by the way. I used to be part of this world myself, and I loved it. Today, I'm using that experience to be here and help men be more of themselves. On this channel, we talk about navigating life as a person with a kink that's affected them in a not so great way. And unfortunately, that's more common than it appears to be, because this is a topic that people are not so comfortable to open up with. They're not comfortable admitting it out loud, not even to therapists, really. I talk to a lot of people who don't feel comfortable doing that, and they prefer to talk to someone like me because of this stigma that has been perpetuated about sex, porn, and kinks in general. And I believe it's healthy to have an outlet towards this, to release tension responsibly. And I believe the whole spectrum of kinks is valid. The key word always, the operating word here is responsible. And now, if that relief loop is the thing you keep circling back to, the Kink Shame Exit Kit down below walks you through it step by step. And the 14-day self-command reset waitlist is open right now for when we open the door and enrollment in September. Now listen, if things aren't great for you yet, it's okay. Try to just acknowledge where you are without starting the whole cascade of self-judgment. There's nothing positive you can do from a negative place. Trust me, sometimes you can do more damage than good. And then, ask yourself this question. Do you agree that you are the one who creates your life? Is that true to you? Do you agree that you are the one who creates your life? You. Not your mom, not your dad, not your wife, not your boss. Not the government, not the algorithm, not the girlfriend, you. And if you don't agree with that, that's okay. You don't have to agree with anything, as I was telling you before. But if you do agree with that, well, congratulations, that's half of the work already done. Because you do understand that your actions affect your reality. And that's something extremely empowering. So the next thing would be, take an honest moment and look at what needs a little bit of calibration maybe. Maybe it's a boundary that you never set for yourself or maybe for others. Maybe it's a little bit of a step back, okay? And taking a real honest look at your habits, your values, where you swore you'd go versus you actually ended up in. Maybe that action is getting help. And that's okay. And whoever you are, the guy isolated at home too long, or the guy with a good job and with a full contacts list, yeah, you can and should put your eyes on this internal stuff, right? This stuff that is under the surface. It's important. I cannot stress that enough. And maybe I'm not able to articulate that well enough, but I'm going to continue trying, because I believe it's time to cultivate some form of emotional sovereignty now, right now. Because if we stay heavy and addicted and foggy and isolated, others are going to profit from it. So I wanted to start thinking in terms of accountability, acceptance, radical acceptance of reality, evaluation of your beliefs, of what created that, and integrating lessons. Asking better questions, not why is this happening to me, but how is this helping me grow? What part of me sitting in my blind spot helped create this? That's the turn. And honestly, if this community somehow called in someone like me to bring a little awareness to all of this, then maybe it was ready for the message. And I believe so much in you. I believe you deserve a happy life. And listen, if you liked this video, we continue with a powerful full guided audio on Patreon. That is the practical way of integrating this teaching by programming your brain to accept this. Failures are human, valuable, and a step towards success. Breath by breath, we'll feel that change happening in real time in the body. It's a guided meditation that I created with you in mind, and it is accessible through Patreon. Also, it's the easiest way to support the show if you'd like. Also, the Kink Shame Exit Kit is in the link below for free, and the 14-day self-command reset waitlist is open right now. We begin a new round in September, and that's where we do all of this work together with a system, with proper structure and tools that make your life just much more easier. Also, if you watched until now, thank you. You're a champ. The comment of the video is win. I want you to comment win below. This tells me that you watched until now. You got to the word of the day section of this video. And then tell me in the comments, please, what does a day look like for the version of you who never got hooked by the loop? So just tell me, what does it look like? A simple normal day of your life. If you never had that constant drain of energy, just imagine it. Where are you? Who's with you? How does your life look like? What are you doing? What is the first thing that you do in the morning? Right? And comment below. I'm reading your comments still. And that is it for today. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!